Welcome everyone to another episode of Reese's Roundup. I am your host, the Lightning Kid himself, and today, free agency, guys. Wow, what a head scratcher, because I have no idea what is going on in free agency. All these players have been going to so many different teams, and I haven't been expecting it. Like, I would have never expected Tony Romo to have been on the trading block. At first he was going to be released, and then now they're saying, okay, we're going to use him as a trade option. I can kind of see that happening, though, now that I think about it, because, you know, with Dak Prescott coming in, everything was just so, you know, better for the Cowboys. And I don't know, I still feel like all the time and effort that Romo has put into the Cowboys, for them to say, alright, we're going to get rid of you, we're going to trade you, and not have him retire as a Cowboy, it's kind of disappointing. It hurts, it's embarrassing, and, you know, hopefully Romo goes to a good team where he can, you know, just prove it to the Cowboys that he should have never had left. You know, injuries have gotten to him, but at the same time, I can see, you know, Prescott taking on that Tom Brady role, you know, when Bledsoe went out. For those of you new Patriots fans, Drew Bledsoe went out because of injury, and Tom Brady came in, and that's how he's known as one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Okay, just for you new Patriots fans, I'm sure some of you old ones know that story, but I'm just talking to the new ones. So now Dak Prescott is playing that role, and, you know, he did a great job for the Cowboys. They had a great record. They finished, they made the playoffs since 2014, and now, you know, Prescott has a chance of making even more noise and doing much better for the team. So another trade that went down was Stephon Gilmore going to the Patriots. Now, this was good on the Patriots' part because they didn't really have to give up anything. I mean, all they gave up were their, let's see, a penny, a pen, like 3 Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and a phone charger. And they got Stephon Gilmore. This was a good deal for the Patriots on one hand, but on the other, oh, I dropped my penny. But on the other hand, this was a bad deal for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they didn't really get anybody in return, and they lost in my opinion, a top 10 cornerback. Stephon Gilmore is really, really underrated. He's a really good corner, and, you know, the Patriots just went out and got him. Now, on the other hand, the Patriots might have to get rid of Malcolm Butler, but if they can keep Butler, then that secondary is going to be absolutely scary to see play, because I know Gilmore, I know he's a good player. Butler is a top 5 corner in the league, and then you got Devin McCourty, who's an absolute beast at safety. So the Patriots are going to be scary to watch. Something that everybody saw coming was Jay Cutler being released from the Chicago Bears. Now, maybe Tony Romo, hey, he can go to Chicago, ball out for the Bears, maybe not win as many games as people would like to think, because, you know, you still got the Vikings and the Packers to deal with, but still, you got Romo on the Bears that can actually give them a couple of wins a season instead of finishing with 3 or 4. Deshaun Jackson going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is a good signing for the Buccaneers, because Mike Evans is a top 5 wide receiver, probably top 3 wide receiver in the league. You got Vincent Jackson, who's really underrated. His better days were in San Diego, but at the same time, you know, he can still produce. And you got a great running back in Doug Martin, and an upcoming quarterback who's very talented in Jameis Winston. So now that you got Deshaun Jackson coming in and playing that slot receiver role, you got a lot of weapons. And if the Buccaneers don't win 8 to 10 games this season, it's gonna have been all for naught. So hopefully Deshaun Jackson will do well for the Buccaneers. I just don't know how well. So we'll see. He's not that deciding factor that'll make or break them for the playoffs, but at the same time, he will help because he's an absolute threat on the deep ball. Torrey Smith and Alshon Jeffrey going to the Eagles. Now, Torrey Smith he's not that great of a receiver. Being a Cardinals fan, I know, because we had to play him twice a season when he was in San Francisco. Maybe he was overrated because Patrick Peterson was guarding him all the time, but at the same time, I just don't see him making a threat on the Eagles. Then again, the Eagles never really had that good of a receiving core, so any receiver helps at this point. And Alshon Jeffrey is very underrated. I know people will say he wasn't that great because he played on the Bears, but I mean, the Bears are the Bears, and when you have Jay Cutler as a quarterback, you're not going to do so well. So, I think with Carson Wentz being a much more improved and better quarterback than Jay Cutler, I think Alshon Jeffrey has a chance of making a name for himself and doing much better than he did in Chicago. How well, I don't know, but we'll see. You got Antoine Bethea going to the Cardinals. Now, as a Cardinals fan, I do not like this signing because Antoine Bethea's better days were way, way, way behind him when he was on Indy. But I don't know. I don't like this signing because we got Tyrann Mathieu as a great safety, and we got, you know, other players that can play safety as well. So Bethea may or may not be a starter. We'll see, but he was our first signing, so he might get that big role at safety. And I don't know. I just don't think he's capable of, you know, being a star safety as he used to be in Indianapolis, and even then he wasn't that big of a name. So I don't know. I'm not really that big of a fan on this signing, but we'll see when the season starts. One thing that I am upset over though is Calais Campbell going to Jacksonville. Now, Calais Campbell, former defensive end for the Cardinals, was a top 10 defensive end in the league, and he went to a team that he's not going to win more than 4 or 5 games for, but he just wanted the money. And Calais, I know he's worth a lot of money because of, you know, the career he's been having. But to go from a team, a playoff caliber team like the Cardinals, to a low seller, bottom feeding team like the Jaguars, that just shows that some players don't care about winning. They just care about getting paid. And there's nothing that tells me that Jacksonville is going to be a team that's going to be a force or anything to be reckoned with. I mean, when you have to play the Colts and the Texans and the Titans, when you have those teams in your division and you're still the worst team in that division, that just shows you that you're not, I don't know, that just proves that you're not going to be anything. And it's sad, really, honestly. But Calais, you know, thanks for the you know, 8-9 years that you played for us with. I hope you do well. Now you got Brock Osweiler, a guy that left the Broncos, who could have actually balled out for the Broncos, to go to a team where he got paid, what, $70+ million? Now he's on the Browns. He got traded to the Browns, guys, and it is the funniest thing ever because, I mean, he was supposed to be this all-star player that, you know, was gonna ball out for the Broncos when Peyton Manning retired, but instead decided to take the money and go to the Texans where they thought he was gonna play superiorly, and now he's on the Browns. So this kind of sucks for the Browns. I mean, but I mean, it's an improvement because RG3 was just released, and you know, he wasn't really going to do anything anyway. He'd probably play like 3 or 4 games before getting hurt, if he's that lucky. And I don't know, maybe Brock Osweiler puts on a couple of wins for the Browns, but it's the Browns anyway, and they're not going to win any games. I don't know. We'll see how well Brock Osweiler does, but I just don't see them winning any more than 3 or 4 games, even with him at quarterback. But maybe that's an improvement. Who knows? You got Martellus Bennett going to the Packers. Now, this was something that really, really caught my attention because I never expected Martellus Bennett to have left the Patriots to go to the Packers. I mean, you leave one great quarterback to go to another great quarterback, but at the same time, I feel like the Packers didn't need Bennett. They need a running back. Eddie Lacy is a great running back, don't get me wrong, but he's injury prone and he's, you know, on the heavier side. So I would have expected the Packers to have at least put more effort into going after a running back or people on defense rather than a tight end. But we'll see how it goes when the season starts. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can make anybody look great at, you know, whoever he throws it to. So I don't see why they needed to go after some big name guy like Martellus Bennett. But, you know, we'll see when the time comes. Last but not least, you got Brandon Cooks going to the Patriots. Now, I like Brandon Cooks. He's one of my favorite receivers next to Fitz and Julio Jones and T.Y. Hilton. But, so, this really bothered me because I hate the Patriots with a passion, and I know Tom Brady's gonna make Brandon Cooks look like Jerry Rice on the field. And Cooks is a guy. Now the only problem with this is that Cooks is a guy that runs deep a lot, and Tom Brady can't throw the ball past 30 yards. So there's gonna be a lot of slants and short routes that Cooks is gonna have to run, that he's gonna have to extend plays on, and he's not a guy that can give you yards after catch. He's more of a guy that can run really fast, really far, and once he burns you, he burns you. So I can see Brady, throwing the ball those 30 yards after Brandon Cooks beats his corner down, or safety or linebacker down the field. But to think that he's gonna, put yards on after the catch by running a slant or a short route, then I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work out. But with Brady, anything can happen, really. But that's all. That's gonna do it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these signings. Did anybody that I mentioned go to your team? If anybody left your team, let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you guys want to see for next time. That's gonna do it. Peace.